Hello, lore nerds. Today, we're starting with a bit of a jump in the timeline. We're covering the Age of Humanity, which is two little eras after the first flowering, with the Crown Wars and the Founding Time being those two eras that separate them. Now, why am I doing this? Well, honestly, I didn't really feel like covering those two ages right now. They don't have a lot to them. Well, I know they technically do, but it's just not something I really felt like I wanted to cover. It might be a little bit boring, honestly, so I'm going to give you a brief overview of them before getting into the topic of this video, and perhaps I will do a video in the future for them. Maybe the Crown Wars do deserve their own video. It's just not one I'm going to make right now. So you're getting the Age of Humanity and you're going to like it. So I did mention the Crown Wars in a previous video. They followed the first flowering. It was a period defined by 5 major wars between groups of elves. It lasted from negative 12,000 to negative 9,000 DR. Pretty important elven history stuff. The founding time was a period just before the Age of Humanity, and had humanoids such as elves, dwarves, and humans expanding of the world and founding empires, hence the name. One important place founded that also sort of marks the end of this age is the Netheril Empire, which we'll talk about more later. It lasted from negative 9,000 to negative 3,000 DR. Now, another reason why I didn't want to cover this as its own video was despite it lasting 6,000 years, all it would really amount to is me going, this place was founded in this point of time over and over again for like maybe 4 minutes. That's really the majority of what happened there. Instead, we're getting into a slightly more interesting topic. The Age of Humanity is a very important age that begins in negative 3000 DR and lasts until 1358 DR. That's right, we're finally getting out the negative DRs. So, one of the first things that happened in negative 2999 DR is the city of Illusk is founded by human clans in the northern Sword Coast. That's pretty cool, I guess. Then, in negative 2954 DR, Iolaun raised the first Netherese enclave, Zinlino. Netherese enclaves are like those really big, cool floating cities that fancy wizards made. They have that really cool aesthetic of just being a city floating in the sky. So that's very cool. I love it. In negative 1591 DR, General Matic invented the spell Magic Missile, which was actually originally called General Matic's Missile, and then just became Magic Missile. So that's cool. He also dies 30 years later, which sucks. Now, skipping a few miscellaneous events, a lot of foundings, a couple of little skirmishes, etc., we get to a very, very big thing. In negative 339 DR, the Netherese Arcanist, which is basically what they called wizards back then, this guy called Karsus used powerful, high-ass level magic to temporarily become, or sort of like mantle, the goddess Mistral, who was the goddess of magic at that point. This went horrifically bad. Mistral died. Karsus kind of petrified in a grotesque mound of flesh and died. And magic went absolutely crazy, and like all but 3 Netherese cities just plummeted to the ground, so the Netherese Empire was destroyed. Then, a moment later, the reincarnated Mistral, that now called Mistra, ain't got the L on the end, we dropped the L, changed how magic worked forever so that this couldn't happen again. I will definitely be going over this story and the history of the Netherese Empire in much greater detail in an upcoming video, because it's just such a big event, and Netherese Empire is really cool, so I wanted to give it its own dedicated video where I can just explain all about that, and you'll get to learn a lot more about who Carsus was and why he did that thing that sounds really stupid to do. So, yeah, look out for that. In negative 200 DR, the city of Candlekeep is founded by some humans. You know, Candlekeep's kind of an important city ish. If you're playing Forgotten Realms, you might have gone there before. But where you probably would have gone, and there's a whole adventure set there, Waterdeep. And it became a proper city in negative 52 DR. It was basically like some settlements, etc. And then it formed into a larger agricultural settlement and then became a proper city. So that's swell, that's when that happened. Now comes the very big deal, the thing which the calendar of the Forgotten Realms is based on, when negative DR ends and we start counting up. Now, what is this incredibly important event? A group of humans signed an agreement known as the Dale's Compact, which gave them a more unsettled area, more places that they could settle in. And then a standing stone is made in honor of this agreement between men and elves. Yeah, that's it. And I know this is like really important for their civilizations, a big turning point and all of that, but I did kind of expect something more grand and memorable. Like, I don't know, Tiamat invaded the world then, or another magical empire went, oh no. But no, it's just some people signing a treaty basically. Um, but yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense in universe, just not as epic as I thought it was going to be. In 20 DR, the area where Nethril was becomes known as Anorok, that big old desert. So yeah, Nethril was in the desert, or it became a desert. We're going to find out on the Nethril video. Swell. In 241 DR, Elminster, that cool wizard guy, begins serving Mistral. So yeah, his adventures kind of begin and are set around here. Swag. In 261 DR, the city of Mithranor was founded using a mythal, those big magic orbs I said I would explain like 4 videos ago, but I haven't yet. I'll probably explain them in the Nethril video because the Nethries did use them a lot, mainly for the big floating cities. In 902 DR, the Cult of the Dragon created the first Draco Liches. Those dragons who have a phylactery, so they're like a lich but more terrifying. Yeah, this is very bad, no good. In 1358 DR, the age of humanity ends with what is known as the Time of Troubles. As this is a very big, important event, kind of like the Netherese and Carsus's Folly, it too shall get its own video to explain it, because it deserves that. It deserves its own probably 10-20 minute long explanation on what the hell it is and what happened. But yeah, just know for now that it was a very major deal. And we get to see Ao do something again for the first time in like 1,000, no, first time in like 5,000 years. And so ends our coverage of the age of humanity. I do hope this video was entertaining and informative. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.